wherever you are, hope you are blessed and doing safe. Ladies and gentlemen, greetings, family. Of course, I'm tuning in. You see me without the glasses off today, but if you're looking for some opportunities, particular advertisement opportunities, then look no further at the link at the bottom to my email address. You can hit me up for advertisement opportunities. We are supporting and promoting your businesses here on this channel. You can also, if you would like to donate and subscribe to our Patreon, a link is at the bottom as well. So you have multiple ways in which you can advertise with the platform by emailing me when we go on through our live stream. You also have access to premium content, those that want to see premium content that you will not find here on YouTube or Facebook or Twitter, as I am suspended probably by now. You guys can check out the Patreon at link at the bottom. But advertisement opportunities, definitely email me, gavin.grich1@gmail.com for rates. And for the Patreon, it is the same as the YouTube channel. It is Channel Gboot2786. All right, I'll holla. Peace. I'm attorney Gavin Richard. I grew up here in New Orleans, so I know how important family, friends, and community are to us. And helping others has been a lifelong passion of mine. If you've been injured in an accident, you may be out of work and faced with large medical bills. You'll need someone to fight the insurance companies so that you can get on with your life. Give me a call at 504-799-2288, and I'll be with you all the way. The law offices of Gavin M. Richard, going the distance so that justice may be served. Hi, I'm attorney Gavin M. Richard. Check out my latest book, The Commonwealth of Pennsylvania versus William H. Cosby Jr., The Destruction of Due Process in America. For approximately 2 years now, I have gone on a painstaking quest to investigate the rise and fall of an American icon, Bill Cosby. In the mid-1980s, there was not a star that was higher than Cosby. Advertisements with Coca-Cola, Jell-O, Kodak, along with the #1 television show for 5 straight years in a row. On Thursday nights, it was must-see TV on NBC. Cosby resurrected the genre of the traditional family sitcom that was once thought dead by television critics. He did this as a Black American with an all-Black cast and showed mainstream network executives in white America that it was possible to be successful without showing the worst in people. He also demonstrated the power that television had, as it can make younger people dream to be the best that they can be. However, like many celebrity stars, unfortunately, they all come crashing down, sometimes by their own fault, others not so much. In this book, I attempted to highlight certain things. We go in depth into both of his trials in 2017 and 2018, respectively. What if I told you that these criminal trials were politically motivated by an overzealous district attorney? Will you also be shocked to learn the attacks on Mr. Cosby did not start in 2014, but also in the 90s, not long after his attempted quest to purchase a major network? From where did all of these allegations of sexual misconduct come from? Were the accusers telling the truth? In the 2 years of research, with some help from others interested in learning the truth and facts about this case, we discussed both the legal reasons why his prosecution and trial were illegal, unwarranted, and also the possible personal motives as to why this may have occurred. Most importantly, we warn about the dangers of prejudice and why trial by social media, or mainstream media rather, should never be the norm. All this and more in The Commonwealth of Pennsylvania versus William H. Cosby Jr., The Destruction of Due Process in America. Available on Amazon this fall in Kindle and paperback format. The place to be is right here with me. It is Random Topic Sundays on Channel Gboot2786 on Gavin Richard and on Facebook Live. If you're watching on Periscope at GavinRich2786, I'll holler at you too, ladies and gentlemen. Whoever you are, wherever you are, I hope you are blessed and doing safe. It is Random Topic Sundays, and the topics we will be discussing are as follows. Stephen A. Smith soft shoes for Aaron Rodgers gets called out by Jay Williams. 2021 Election Day Aftermath, Bloody Tuesday, as we called it. This is part 3, the edition. Tragedy out in Houston. Travis Scott, Drake, and Live World have been sued over this recent events, if you're listening in. And also, Howard University president reacts to protests. All this and more on Channel Gboot2786. If you would like to contribute to the channel, you can do several things, including going to the Cash App or the PayPal at gavin.grich1@gmail.com, or you can go Cash App at GavinRichardEsq, or you can do Zelle at that phone number there. Also, if you'd like to help the channel, you can contribute to the Patreon. The channel is Gboot2786. We also advertise, if you would like, gavin.grich1@gmail.com. That's the email you can reach me at. If you would like to check out our seasoning company, Nonnie'sCreoleBlends.com, order some delicious seasoning that you could put on anything. Try it on chicken, meat, or fish. Nonnie's goes great with every dish. And finally, ladies and gentlemen, 2 things. I'm passionate about my music. You can check out this instrumental that I did, Video Soul, that is available on iTunes, Spotify, Amazon, and all other outlets. You can download those. That's a good way to contribute. Or you can actually go to the Spotify and iTunes and Apple and listen to my single, Gotta Get On Up. Now, that is the theme song for the show. So before we get on down to the topics, it's time to get on up. So without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, let us get on up. And I'll be right back afterwards.
Girl, come on. Gotta dance to the beat, because on the dance floor is where we'll meet. Show me what you got. Gotta feel the groove.
Feel the groove, get on the floor. Get on the.
Right now the party's wasted. There's nothing much to do. But once the groove gets started, tell me, what do you have to lose? Just look into my eyes, girl, as we glide across the room. And what to my surprise now, the beat takes hold of you. Now if you're feeling like I'm feeling, so come on baby, let's start dealing. Time to get this party started. Ain't no time for the broken hearted. When the rhythm takes hold of you, there's only one thing left to do. Cause the beat is really moving. Time to feel your body moving. Gotta get on up and move your body. Cause when the beat is really grooving, it's time to feel your body moving. Gotta get on up and shake something.
Feel the groove, get on the floor. Get on the.
Tell the DJ play the whispers. Rock steady in the mood. Put on Earth, Wind, and Fire. Tonight we're gonna groove. Show me how you do the 4 corners. Electric slide or 2. Hit the bus stop or do the bunny hop, baby. It's really up to you. Now if you're feeling like I'm feeling, so come on baby, let's start dealing. Time to get this party started. Ain't no time for the broken hearted. When the rhythm takes hold of you, there's only one thing left to do. Cause the beat is really moving. Time to feel your body moving. Gotta get on up and move your body. Cause when the beat is really grooving, it's time to feel your body moving. Gotta get on up and shake something.
Feel Feel the groove, get on the floor. Get on the
Now, 2020 hasn't been the best year of all times. We've been dealing with death, the pandemic, racism, bad policing, and all the bad rhymes. But like Uncle Snoop once said, if you breathe, then you achieve. And so, if you're ready, I need you all to get on up. Are you ready? 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. Get your butt on the dance floor. 5 and 6 and 7, 8. This jam we appreciate. We're gonna slide and step on the beat. On the dance floor is where we'll be.
Feel the groove, get on the floor. Get on up
And move your body. Cause when the beat is really grooving, it's time to feel your body moving. Gotta get on up and shake something.
Feel the groove, get on the floor. Get on up,
Baby, yeah, gotta get on up. Come on, baby, gotta get on up. Baby.
feel the groove, get on the floor. Get on up.
Gotta get on up. What's up, everybody? Welcome to another edition of Gavin Richard Presents again. Hope you are blessed and doing safe today. You see the Nani's Creole Blends website right there. I gotta just shout this out so you all can check out the website that we have. We've been up and running for the last for a few months now, and it tells you everything about our company. So if you guys want to shop and get your seasoning on, please do so. All right. So, man, what is up, everybody? I see a few people in the chat. No, I probably would have even more numbers now. I'm going up against Big League. I'm going up against Jason Black and the Black Authority right now. But I know a lot of people would be in here. We actually got a good crowd. We're going to get more people in. I see, and YouTube have been, I couldn't even see this on my channel at first, but I always suspected we had more people and than what they were saying that were watching. And actually, I have more subscribers as of today. I have well over 1,230 subscribers right now. So that is actually good to have and see. Shout out to everybody who's in the chat. Got Danielle, we got Tylene and DeAndre. What's up, DeAndre? From New Orleans, the NOLA. And Danielle, who's out in Houma. Hope her family is doing good with the recovery. How are you doing, dear, with the Hurricane Ida? Just checking on y'all. So we'll get started a little bit. Just a lot that's going on. We're in the month of November now. 2021 is almost over, guys. Can y'all believe that? Doesn't seem like it seems like it's been going real fast right now with time. So you got to make the best of it. But some things came out and people have been, I think I've seen people talking about this. The movie, The Harder They Fall, I saw it, me and my girl saw it on Netflix. And I want to talk about it just a little bit because I want to get into my other comments. But did anybody see that movie? If you watched it, came out on Netflix this past Wednesday, I believe. And it's directed by James Samuel. He directed it and stars a few people like Jonathan Majors. He plays the main character. He plays Nat Love. Lakeith Stanfield plays who was in Judas and the Black Messiah. He plays Cherokee Bill. Zazie Beetz plays Stagecoach Mary. And Idris Elba plays Rufus Buck. Now, interesting enough, these were all real people. In fact, at least a third of the cowboys in the Old West were black. If you saw the movie Posse, they talked about that. What's up, Cheryl? And in fact, the word cowboy comes from black people, or it was directed at black people, as Baba D. Gregory said. You can listen to on YouTube. He did an interview, or was giving a lecture rather, and he talked about how Cowboy came out, and basically it would make sense because cows being in the South in Texas where there was slavery, they would tell their slaves, "Don't get that cowboy." So that's where Cowboy came up from. Now, I want to talk about it just a little bit, not trying to give any spoilers, but the movie overall, James Samuel did it. He also did the music for it. He was the composer, the director. He wrote the screenplay with Boaz Yankin. Boaz Yankin did the movie Fresh, which was a very good movie back in the 90s. But what I learned, while these characters were real, of course, the story is fake. It's not necessarily, but the characters in it were real. Bass Reeves was a real person. And, well, I'm about to just do a quick review on it. There's a character, if I had to give the film overall a rating out of 10, 10 being outstanding, I would give it a 7. It's a good movie. There's action all the way. The cast, the performances were great. What I will say is I noticed in the film there was an agenda a little bit that was pushed in. And what they did, the character, there's a character played by Danielle Deadwyler. She plays a character named Cuffy. And when you go on Wikipedia and look up the information on the film, they've edited it. But let me just show you right quick. Hold on. Roddy King says she didn't like the film. I don't think the film was bad per se. I get, of course, that element that most of the main characters, I know people say, were not foundational Black Americans. Stagecoach married. Now, Zazie Beetz, this is Zazie Beetz. She's a good-looking woman. She played Domino in Deadpool 2. That's where I recognized her from. But she was also in Joker. She plays Stagecoach Mary. Now, that's Stagecoach Mary. And Stagecoach Mary was a mail carrier. She was the first Black female star route mail carrier in the United States. And long story short of what I was looking at, Danielle Deadwyler, she plays this character named Cuffy. And a character they say is modeled off of Kathy Williams. Now, I looked up Kathy Williams. She was the first Black woman to enlist and the only documented woman to serve in the United States Army posing as a man during the American Indian Wars. So she actually posed as a man. But when you go on Wikipedia, and even when looking at the film, they made her into a transgender man. Now, I kind of got the feeling in the movie, really, that the person was, and spoilers, there was a scene in the film that was funny where one of the characters, when the Nat Love character, because they had to go and rob, spoiler alert, they had to go and rob a bank. He needed her to pose as his woman, his wife. And the Cuffy character, basically, I wouldn't say was transgender, but was more like a tomboy. I knew it was a female, but it was hard. She was doing her damnedest not to let you know that she was a female. And so she was wearing, dressed like the dudes and stuff with the pants, the hat, opposite of Stagecoach Mary, completely. And during one scene, it was funny where he had to get, Nat Love said, "I need you to dress up." Basically gives her a dress to put on. And one of the dudes who I guess liked her, he said, "Oh gosh, thank the Lord. I thought I was falling for a fella at first," or something along those lines. So I noticed they had to do a little slick stuff like that. But overall, and I mean, it's something that happens now practically in every movie. But yeah, you just read this here, the description they have on Wikipedia. The Harder They Fall, a revisionist Western film in which Danielle Didweiler portrays Cuffy, a transgender man modeled after Williams. See, what I always thought was that a trans man is someone who is a female at birth, but then decides to change their sex when they get to be older. We used to say transvestite, transsexual, but apparently some of that is not what they call kosher anymore to say. But you notice stuff like this nowadays. Every television show, every movie theater, especially Netflix, they have to have that in there. So it's not a surprise that I saw that. But overall, I mean, I liked the movie action-wise. I thought it was good. Regina King, all the characters in it, I think, except Regina King, was a fictional person. Of course, we know Mary Field, Stagecoach Mary. She was a dark-skinned woman, and Zazie Beetz is a biracial German African woman. Now, not saying that the woman can't act, and she's a beautiful woman too. She's cute, but I noticed that with the film, so that was interesting. But yeah, let's get into today's topics, guys, because I'm trying not to keep it too late. Just a lot that's been going on. Sadly, of course, we've heard about this. Let's get into it. The tragedy over at Astroworld. Now, this past weekend, Friday, that started, there was a concert that was put on, I believe, by Live Nation. And your Drake, Travis Scott, and a few others were performing. Well, during the performance of Travis Scott on Friday night, about 8 people died at this event. And what took place and what is being called a tragedy apparently is that when Travis Scott got there to perform, the crowd from the back apparently rushing to the front. And I believe people that were obviously closer, or people just in there, when you have a large crowd of people that are running over each other, a stampede probably ensued. People were getting stepped on, people were getting crushed. And according to police, about 14 to 27 people, 14 to 27, the age range of 14 to 27 of 8 people died as a result of their injuries. I believe they're even saying that several more have been hospitalized, including 11 that went into cardiac arrest. This is coming from, I'm looking at Astroworld Festival disaster. Now, what has happened, this is coming from ABC 13, is that a lawsuit now has been filed against Travis Scott and Drake. And we'll go to ABC 13 for the latest. By the way, fair use. This is subject to fair use.
Breaking news at 5:30. The first lawsuit filed after 8 people died at the Astroworld Festival late Friday night. The lawsuit, filed by a Harris County man named Manuel Souza, says Souza suffered serious bodily injuries after he was trampled. A number of entities are named in the lawsuit, including Live Nation, who was responsible for security at the festival, and the performer Travis Scott himself. The lawsuit claims those responsible for the festival were negligent. The suit seeks at least $1 million in damages.
Well, I'm not surprised by that happened that quick. Just that quick, less than 24 hours, a lawsuit was filed. And Manuel Souza is represented by Kerr Garcia, LLP, which is, and he's from Harris County. And he suffered what he claims serious bodily injuries and was trampled on in the midst of the deadly disaster. Multiple fans were trampled on as hundreds rushed the event's perimeter Friday afternoon. Once inside, some people began climbing onto portable toilets as security personnel worked to try and contain the crowd. Later on in the night, a small group in a crowd of approximately 50,000 concert goers at the festival were heard shouting, asking the rapper to stop the show. In video obtained by ABC 13, people can be heard screaming, "Stop the show, stop the show," when they realized the man was lying unresponsive and face up on the ground. Authorities said at least 8 people died Friday night and hundreds of others were injured during the festival's opening night at NRG Park. The event the next day was canceled as a result of the incident. And Travis Scott posted a video that was we have here from CNN that I'm going to share with you all in just a second so you could hear what he has to say. If just had the damn thing up, where'd it go? There we go. By the way, fair use under the Copyright Act. I share these videos while they are not owned by me. They do allow they are permissible for me to show and display because it's being used for commentary and news purposes only. So here's some video by Travis Scott, and we'll also look at a couple other videos. I gotta source this.
I gotta hire for that.
I gotta pay for this.
I gotta fix that.
I got it all under control.
Procurement makes it possible to drive your business forward. Intelligent Spend Management from SAP.
Let's get you to the latest on this deadly Astroworld music festival in Houston. One concert goer said it felt like a death trap when rapper Travis Scott took the stage and suddenly the crowd started surging toward that stage. Eight people were killed, dozens were hurt. And just a short time ago, Scott posted about the tragedy on his Instagram account. Here you go.
To the ones that was lost last night. We're actually working right now to identify the families so we can help assist them through this tough time. You know, my fans really mean the world to me, and I always just really want to leave them with a positive experience. And anytime I can make out, anything that's going on, I stop the show and, help them get the help they need,
Celebrate the with 10 votes a day, every day.
We had gotten to the stage that Travis Scott was performing about 6:30. So 3 hours before he was supposed to perform because we wanted a good spot. And as time went on, it just kept getting more crowded and more crowded and more crowded. But then he started a countdown about 30 minutes before he performed. He started a timer on the big screen, and all of a sudden, people just come pressed up against each other and were pushing forward and backward. And as the timer got closer to coming down to 0, it got worse and worse. And I looked at my boyfriend, Sam, and I told him, I was like, we have to get out of here, because I just felt, I was having constant pressure on my chest, constant pressure on my back. From the side, I was being squeezed. I tried to lift up my arms to make more room for myself. It wasn't working. So right when he started performing his first song, I looked at my boyfriend. I said, we have to get out of here. He said, I can't. We can't. We couldn't. And then I just remember looking up and passing out. And then I was in and out for a little while. I didn't see anything.
Okay, so I paused it, but y'all see how big that crowd is. Just looking at it. You see how big this is. Notice there are no barriers up at the front where the crowd surge was. They have gates and stuff on side. And look, I've been to concerts and so forth. In fairness, I don't know what type of security they had out there. But when I've gone to concerts, especially like for Essence Fest, for instance, and that was inside the Superdome, that was much, much different. You couldn't even stand in the aisle. They didn't want you when the concert was going on. I remember you couldn't even go in the aisles and just stand there for a few seconds without them ordering you to get back.
But I could kind of feel what was going on. Someone pulled me over a fence, and I was sat in a chair. And then I passed out again. And when I woke up, I was in a different area in a chair with a water bottle in my lap.
An America that flirted with legalized prostitution, where gays were seen as a threat to national security, and a deadly hate crime fueled a movement. Where we've been can show us where we're going. This is life.
Scott, he stopped his show and noticed that the ambulance was coming into the crowd. So you can see the ambulance lights right there.
What the is that?
This week on This Is Life, could a teen's murder in 1919 shed light on Chicago's history of violence?
Somebody gets shot every day. We have to make killing not cool.
This Is Life with Lisa Ling, tonight at 10 on CNN.
We do know that we had about 50,000 people that attended this venue. It was an outdoor concert event. And the crowd, for whatever reason, began to push and surge towards the front of the stage, or towards the stage, which caused the people in the front to be compressed, and they were unable to escape that situation. That incident caused a lot of additional panic in the crowd, and as people began to fall out and be compressed, and it quickly overwhelmed the security that was hired for that venue. So, and the people that were falling out, again, the numbers just increased. There were scores of individuals that were injured, and it quickly overwhelmed the medical component that was hired by the promoters to be present for that venue. The Houston Fire Department and Houston Police Department responded as soon as the number of injured became overwhelming for those companies, and we ended up transporting about 23 people in serious condition. 11 of those were critical. We were doing CPR en route to the hospital. Sadly, 8 of those individuals to this point have succumbed to their injuries and have died. That number may change because, as I mentioned, the others were in critical condition. But at this point, we have 8 confirmed fatalities, and we have scores of other individuals that were injured in some fashion throughout the course of that day.
So, all right, I'm sorry about that. Y'all can hear me now. I was saying earlier, Travis Scott stated that I had it on mute when the video was playing, that he was devastated, to say the least. He said, "My fans really mean the world to me, and I always just really want to leave them with a positive experience. And anytime I can make out, anything that's going on, I stop the show, and help them get the help that they need." So he's being sued for this, which doesn't surprise me because that typically happens during the tragedy, and something like that is, I hate to phrase it like that, easy money. Now, if you go to Wikipedia, this is drawing comparisons from some people to the WHO incident. And what happened there was 11 people were killed, 26 were injured because the crowd thought that the show was starting early. The WHO was actually starting early, and as a result, people were pushing forward to get inside the Cincinnati Riverfront Arena, the Riverfront Cincinnati Arena. That's what it was called, Riverfront Coliseum. So now it's known as the Heritage Bank Center. And 11 people were killed with an average of age of 19. They were died in the crush. So what happened was you had a crowd that surged and pushed towards just two doors. This is a stadium. Okay, two doors that were open. This is a Coliseum, an indoor arena. And two doors were only open to let these people in. And a surge pushed forward, and this caused many people to get trampled, while several others were seriously injured. 11 people weren't able to escape the dense crowd pushing forward towards them, and they died by asphyxiation. 26 other people reported injuries. The concert went on as planned, with the band members not told of the tragedy until their performance. After their performance, the following night, a lengthy segment on the tragedy aired on the CBS Evening News with Walter Cronkite examining violence at concerts. The following show in Buffalo the next night, Roger Daltrey told the crowd, "We lost a lot of family last night. This show's for them." So, as they say, the show must go on. So they were not aware of it. Of course, that doesn't, this is drawing comparisons, and then this is happening now. I mean, already there's a Wikipedia page about the Astro World Festival. And, my sister, shout out to Queen Nicole from Nicole's View. I know she's packing right now because her and her family get ready to move. She actually tweeted this. "We miss you too, Nicole." She actually tweeted this earlier. She said that Travis Scott is about to get a lesson in the nigga wake up call department. They'll love you 1 minute and hate you the next. I say treat Travis just like those folks treated the WHO, the band, I think she meant the band, the WHO, back in 1979, when 11 people were, yeah, y'all can hear me now. When 11 people were killed during a stampede at one of their concerts in Ohio. Yeah. And Travis Scott, I could be honest with you, I can't tell you what hit he made. As you could say, I'm getting older. But I mean, honestly, I don't like listening to mumble rappers. I know who Travis Scott is. I know he's married to, well, he's not married, but he has a child and he's dating one of the Jenners. I think he's dating Kendall, if I'm not mistaken. Kylie, excuse me. He's dating Kylie, whatever. They're the same to me. Kylie's the billionaire, right? Yeah, Kylie's the billionaire. And, that Kardashian family. So he's from Houston. And I know that the mayor of Houston, Sylvester Turner, even talked about how he's good friends with his mom and grandmother and his sister, so he knows them. But to say the least, this is tragic. No, they did not treat the WHO just the same way that they're treating Travis. I know Travis has, someone pointed this, I just thought about this. He has the McDonald's advertisements that he does because they have the food They have food that's named after him, his meals and stuff that they were doing. So he does a lot of endorsements with that. One thing I noticed, though, is that they tried to use this situation as a way to even attack brother Michael Jackson. And well, not everybody, but a couple of idiots, one idiot in particular. I'm not calling Taj an idiot, but Taj was talking to this. Shout out to Taj. Taj follows me, actually. That's so cool. See that Taj Jackson, Tito Jackson's son, and his brother Terrell. Terrell follows me. Excuse me, Terrell. He follows me as well. But Taj put this. Did he remove it? But Taj was going back. Yeah, the guy. What basically they were trying to say that at Michael Jackson's concerts, people would pass out and die. Actually died at his concerts, which did not happen. There was standard. If you look at a Michael Jackson concert, you had people passing out and stuff. I remember all of that, but they had ambulance there. They had security there. They would have a tent that was available for people with medical conditions that would be on the way if something happened. Yeah, he's on his second baby. Yeah, he's on his second baby now. But they would all be, he was, none to say the least, he was there all the time. They were prepared. And you saw in the report on CNN that the police had to step in and stop the concert because when their resources were exaggerated, meaning, in other words, their resources were overwhelmed. They had to stop the show. Well, here they couldn't do that. Here they didn't. They did that when everything went south. But I'm not surprised that Travis Scott is being sued. This is the stuff that I'm imagining and knew that this was going to happen eventually. My heart and thoughts and prayer. My heart goes out to the families. My thoughts and prayers, all the people that were hurt. They're saying over 300 people were treated for injuries at the field hospital. So there was a crush, basically. And if you've ever been in a line of people, especially at a concert like that, where everybody's just rushing up, you could get crushed immediately if you go to the front. That's why I don't do it. That's why I haven't been. I mean, we don't have any concerts too much. We still do. We started back with COVID, after COVID. But whenever I was in, I never was in a rush to hurry up and go to the front whenever a performer came on. Any festivals that I was, whether it was Jazz Fest, Essence Fest, or anything like that. I may have tried to get a little closer as I could, but afterwards, I didn't stay in a crush with everybody because that's just tragic what happened. So my prayers, my thoughts go out to the family. What do y'all think will happen with this lawsuit? I imagine it's probably going to get settled just over the tragedy, because I'm sure they don't want to go back over something like this. There'll be a approved settlement, and anybody that could prove that they were there may get some money from it. But probably the family members of those who actually died will get more. But that's my perspective on it from just thinking about these facts and resources. But shout out to all the family and anybody that lost a loved one there. My thoughts and prayers to them. All right, I want to move on, guys. Let's get into this one. Oh, y'all, I had to talk about this. Now, regardless how you feel about the jab or not, is not the issue here. But what we are going to get into, and what I wanted to talk about, was the hypocrisy of an individual. Now, I used to think, like Willie D once said, that Stephen A was that dude. Stephen Helline Smith was a guy, you know, he had his, was a guy I respected at one point, because I remember when he had his own TV show on ESPN. It was called Quite Frankly, when he brought people like Dr. Boyce Watkins, Dr. Michael Eric Dyson. I know he had Damon Wayans on there. That was when I liked Michael Eric Dyson. He had Allen Iverson. That was the one he did. That you saw AI come out with his clothes and so forth, just having a casual conversation with a bad dude. I mean, he calls Aaron Rodgers the bad man. But that interview with AI, because AI was, you know, back in the day, he was the one the media liked to pick on. So, but Stephen A., ever since his nuts got clipped by ESPN over that Ray Rice incident 7 years ago, when he was suspended from his talk from First Take, he has made sure to get the other niggas in line. He has made sure of that. I don't think that was, whoever that lawyer was for, well, I think he was Bruce at that point still. So he Bruce Lynn Jenner. But Stephen A. Smith, you know, he has used his platform and he's been exposed by Kwame Brown, Corey Holcomb, Tariq Nasheed, and others. He uses his platform to talk, Terrell Owens included, to talk down on black people. And this past week, Jay Williams, shout out to this brother, former NBA player Jay Williams, who is also on ESPN for now, because Jay Williams gave him the business. Because Stephen A. Smith personally called out Kyrie Irving over him not taking the jab. And Stephen A. has used his platform, as I stated, to talk down on brothers, but he was to the point that Irving should be suspended and fined. And then you had that Black Yoda, that bobblehead woman, Jamel Mamie Hill, even calling for Kyrie Irving to be kicked out of the league and suspended. But we go and fast forward to Aaron Rodgers, A-Rod, number 2. Now, I like Aaron Rodgers myself. I like Aaron Rodgers. I think he's one of the best quarterbacks it showed today, because the Packers lost to Kansas City. They could have used him. Hell, we could use him here for the Saints as bad as we played earlier. I can't diss nobody's team today. I don't have bragging rights. We don't have a quarterback. I can't even blame the quarterback, but we don't have wide receivers either. But Jay Williams, let's fast forward. Aaron Rodgers, back in at the start of the season, was asked if he had been given the jab. And Rodgers said, and I quote, he was immunized. Well, we found out that he actually caught COVID-19 and was not immunized as he had stated, meaning he led people on to believe that he was vaccinated. And to Stephen A's credit, I will say this, he did call Aaron Rodgers a liar. However, when you look at his criticism, he was much more soft on Aaron Rodgers than he was on brother Kyrie. And the difference between Kyrie Irving and Aaron Rodgers is very simple. Kyrie laid out his reasons why he didn't believe in the jab, whereas Aaron flat out lied. And Rodgers actually responded to the media and the woke mob, as he called it, and criticized them. And even I heard he made a quote about Dr. King, which is some bullshit, but I didn't hear all of it. But let's look at this, because Jay Williams brings receipts to Stephen A. Hairline Smith right now.
Makes me think of Kyrie Irving. So that being said, how does the Rodgers situation compare to Kyrie's?
It doesn't. They are drastically different.
Aaron Rodgers is exponentially worse. There was not only a lie, there was an intent to lie. And just a couple things for you, Stephen A., because we obviously have this gripe. I have this gripe with you. Because it's both of us. Yeah. I wrote down some things that you said here. So 3.5 weeks ago, you said it amounts to betrayal for Kyrie. You said, quote, flat out stupid as it relates to what he's doing. Quote, bad teammate. Quote, selfish. October 16th on CNN. To the hell with you. You say all of these things about Kyrie Irving, and Kyrie Irving was very upfront and honest about what his situation was. He wasn't jeopardizing anybody else. He didn't put anybody else on the Brooklyn Nets and their team at risk. When he was allowed to be around the team, he had his mask on, he abided by all the rules. But he was subject to mass criticism by you, animated criticism by you. And then I'm in the green room, and I watch you, and I see your points that you had against Aaron Rodgers, and I appreciate the stance. Like calling him a liar, I just didn't feel the same venom. I didn't feel the same energy that was associated with Kyrie Irving. And a part of me wonders, why? How come you don't hold Aaron Rodgers to the same who lied? Who lied on national look reporters in the eye and said, yeah, I'm going to be nice. Okay. Why not? I don't understand that. I can answer you.
Now, I'm gonna play the answer for you all. Because I'm going to have to get into another video. But, of course, put that copyright disclaimer in because I don't want the House of Mouse to take down this video for sharing that, even though it is under fair use. But let me exit this. So let me shout out to Ethan Thomas, who was also a former NBA player. It wasn't just Jay Williams who had the smoke for Stephen A. Smith. Ethan said, it's hard not to notice the blaring difference in coverage description, tone, the absence of insults or accusations of being stupid or dumb in the coverage of these two unvaccinated athletes, especially by Stephen A. Smith, but we know why. Now, let's hear Stephen A.'s, if you want to hear his sucker ass response to it. Yeah, get your popcorn and your beer. Please get that copyright disclaimer up for me, everyone. Of course, this is fair use. I'm going to fast forward it because you heard Jay Williams' response to that, but Stephen is leaning, so he's going to look at that pose right there. That's the Stephen from Django pose. Let me explain to you, boy.
We don't stop making it ain't Brooklyn because of him, which you know. And as a result, they're championship contender. We all know. We talk about it. By the way, you and I are going to talk about the Golden State Warriors one day. I think the Warriors going to win it all. But we'll talk about that another day. The one team who's going to stop it is Brooklyn with Kyrie. Without Kyrie, it's going to be a bigger challenge. Harden's got to play better. We know all of that. But you're possibly costing this team. Possibly costing this team. A team you put together. And the reason why I won't let you ignore history, I'm going to go back to last year. There was a riot at the U.S. Capitol. Is this? You know what? You can stop being that damn sensitive when it comes to Kyrie Irving because you ain't got too much sympathy. You ain't got too much sympathy, and I'm gonna tell you why. Nobody has let Aaron Rodgers off the hook. It just happened. It just happened. This is the first day we've all had an opportunity to talk about it. And damn it, before he's had a chance to pass gas, we said, yo, you a liar. You know, and people are speculating, we got to find out the protocols because it looks like you should be suspended. I mean, damn, it just happened. That's number one. And the heat ain't going to subside. Ain't going to come at Aaron Rodgers.
Now, I'm going to say this in defense of Aaron Rodgers. Y'all see how upset and emotional he becomes when he gets called out on this shit? Now, in fairness to Aaron Rodgers, the NFL and the Green Bay Packers and his teammates knew he did not get the jab. They knew he didn't get the jab from the beginning because why? The protocol from the NFL now requires either everyone is jabbed or you have to submit a test that shows that you don't have COVID-19. So either way, the NFL knew about it. So I don't believe in suspending him because you knew about it. So he didn't really lie. There was no way for him to lie in that situation. He did not just tell everybody. He misled people, if you want to say the least, in particular the media, about his status.
Rodgers because millions of people are offended by what he tried to pull. Okay, that's number one. Number two, Kyrie Irving. Let's get back to him. Because you see, I'm getting sick of all of the noise about Kyrie Irving. He's a victim. He the victim.
I'll never call Kyrie
I didn't say you did. I didn't say you did. Just like you weren't talking about me, I'm not talking about you directly. There's a lot of people saying that. I'm sick of it. I'm sick of it. And here's the reason why. Kyrie is a showstopper. Kyrie's box office, spectacular. Damn it, they miss him. Let's call it what it is. Brooklyn ain't the same without him. I've said it before and I said it again. They in Brooklyn because of him, which you know. And as a result, they're championship contender. We all know. We talk about it, by the way. You and I don't talk about Golden State Warriors all day. I think the Warriors going to win it all. I think the Warriors going to win it all, but we'll talk about that another day. If one team's going to stop it, it's Brooklyn with Kyrie. Without Kyrie, it's going to be a bigger challenge. Harden's got to play better. We know all of that. But you're possibly costing this team. Possibly costing this team. A team you put together. And the reason why I won't let you ignore history, I'm going to go back to last year. There was a riot at the U.S. Capitol. Kyrie used that as an excuse to take off 2 weeks. Now, when are we going to stop making excuses? I mean, this is ridiculous. There's a riot at the U.S. Capitol. You were working. I was working. You were on the air with me. Max was sitting right there. Everybody was working. Business is business. You weren't at the riots. You weren't on Capitol Hill. Every damn time you turn around, there is an excuse for this man not to work. That is what I said. People have called me in defense of him. People who love him very dearly and respect him. And because I love and respect them, I laid off. But I also made sure to make it very, very clear to them. I mean what I say, because I ain't talking about the vaccine. Because I understand. Listen, I had reservations about it. I took it. You had reservations about it. You took it. Millions of people. The Nets had reservations about it. They took it. But he wanted to stand his ground. Respect. Okay, you have a right to do that. We can dislike it when you take into account the other things you did to put things in place where people felt compelled to make these sacrifices because of the commitments that preceded all of this pandemic stuff. And so here we are once again, Kyrie doing things his way at the expense of other people. He's done it before. I understand this is an entirely different situation because you're putting something into your body, which is something that you've articulated to me. But I am saying to you, your point would be far more profound if there wasn't a history of Kyrie Irving.
What does that matter? What does that matter? You start talking about, well, he wants to play when he wants to. He's interested in playing now. He just doesn't like the law and the mandate that the city of New York has imposed. And I got news for you. If you live in New York, the new mayor who is coming in, Adams, that mandate is not changing. This is the same Stephen A. that apologized for his comments about domestic violence. He apologized to Shohei Ohtani because he was talking about the fact that he can't speak English. He apologized to the Asian community, but when it came to defending Mark Cuban, I distinctly remember Stephen A. Smith. He didn't give a damn what the black community thought of him.
This man finds multiple excuses not to fulfill his responsibility.
Can I get in there?
Go ahead.
Can I have a single shot?
Sure.
Can I request a single shot like you first? Sure. I want everybody to know Stephen A. Smith is the best in the game of television. He is the best in the game of television. I wanted to say that first off, SA, because I watched you when you opened the show.
Hey, what's going on?
I know who you are. I know when you get passionate about things. I know when you say things with conviction. Your opening line of the show was, Aaron Rodgers, my guy, man, and this, it's tough. It's my guy. He's a liar. So it's not just what you say, because you did call him a liar, but brother, how you say things matter. So when I hear you spit venom with energy and passion, and when I hear you say that he's a liar, I wouldn't have said it like that. Because if I put myself in Stephen A. Smith's body, I would have said he looked people in the eye and he lied. He flat out lied. He said, yes, I am immunized. I am. And then I feel, I understand people, those guys, not referring to himself as one of those guys, he was one of those guys. So that energy that you start a conversation with, it matters to people like me because you set the tone for this network, for thousands of people that watch you. I think that's important. Can you understand that point? That's
Yes,
one.
okay.
Number two, on the Kyrie Irving stuff. Kyrie Irving didn't even say anything for the longest time. He didn't say anything. This man just disappeared. And every day it was Kyrie this, Kyrie that, Kyrie this, Kyrie that. And I get it, when he finally spoke, he didn't have the right words. It didn't come out the right way. But damn, the intent was there. So now my thing is, when I'm watching this and I'm watching all this other stuff happen, here I was, I watched a man that came out and flat out lied. With intent. Lied. This is how I go. And I watched Kyrie kind of waver, go back and forth. I'm like, but man, we just chastised this dude for wavering. But this man is lying. And I just want to make sure we keep the same energy. That's all I ask for. I want exponential energy, actually. I want more energy than what you gave Kyrie, because that's deserving of it. I just want to make sure you carry it, because you carry that torch, brother.
Well, a couple.
You carry that torch.
Well, a couple of things. Yeah, okay, fine. I carry the torch. So you know what? I'm a pretty damn good pro at this.
I know you are.
I know what I'm doing.
I just gave you your flowers.
Let me say this to you. The video of Aaron Rodgers saying what he said, I saw at the moment we showed that to start off the show. Kyrie Irving, when we were talking about him, we can pull up the tape. You didn't see me get intense until you and I were arguing about it. I was very calm in stating my position about Kyrie Irving until you and I started arguing, because you went on. Let me finish.
You're going to look at your Stephen A-isms now.
Time out. I'm giving you facts. I got tape. I'm saying the most intense I was sitting across from you, because you were waving the pom-poms to Kyrie.
All right, but let's look at this. He got exposed, to say the least. And remember this.
Particularly the victims of domestic abuse, and to my female family members and loved ones I've disappointed and who know I know better. You all deserved a better professional, and quite frankly, a better man last Friday, sitting on this very set, in this very chair. My heartfelt apologies to each and every single one of you.
Stephen A., I appreciate you apologizing.
So he was forced to apologize for talking about domestic violence and domestic abuse. And I understood what he was saying. Now, go back to his comments.
About you. And here's what I mean by that. We keep talking about the guys. We know you have no business putting your hands on a woman. I don't know how many times I got to reiterate that. But as a man who was raised by women, see, I know what I'm going to do if somebody touches a female member of my family. I know what I'm going to do. I know what my boys are going to do. I know what I'm going to have to remind myself that I work for the worldwide leader. I'm going to have to get law enforcement officials involved because of what I'm going to be tempted to do. But what I've tried to employ the female members of my family, some of who you all met and talked to and what have you, is that, again, and this is what I've done this all my life. Let's make sure we don't do anything to provoke wrong actions. Because if I come or somebody else come, whether it's law enforcement officials, your brother, or the fellas that you know, if we come after somebody has put their hands on you, it doesn't negate the fact that they already put their hands on you. So let's try to make sure that we can do our part in making sure that that doesn't happen. Now, you got some dudes that are just horrible, and they're going to do it anyway. And there's never an excuse to put your hands on a woman. But domestic violence or you know, with or whatever the case may be, with men putting their hands on women is obviously a very real issue in our society. And I think that just talking about what guys shouldn't do, we got to also make sure that
you can do your part to do whatever you can do to make to try to make sure it doesn't happen. We know they're wrong.
Now look, what he said, is it what he's saying incorrect? Stephen A. Smith was not incorrect in what he was saying, because we say the same thing, I say the same thing even to my clients. And for the record, you have women who actually create a lot of the there are women who create the situation that they're in. Now, let me be clear about what I'm saying with that. I'm not saying that they are necessarily, or there's a justification in striking any woman for any reason. There isn't, but there are times, of course, that women will use that stigma, because we know if a man hits a woman, you get criticized for that, you get chastised, you get called everything but a child of God if you're doing that, and that's understandable. But let's also be clear, there are women who use that to their advantage to actually go and attack men. Around this same time when the Ray Rice incident happened, you had Hope Solo, who struck her husband. You had I believe one woman that was accused, I can't think of her name, but you had certainly white athletes. I remember the UFC fighter, War Machine, that damn near killed his woman. He raped her as well. He was not suspended. Nobody talked about that. Everything was Ray Rice on ESPN. And he was suspended for 2 games. But then what happened with Ray Rice was that after the suspension, we all know the suspension. And what happens is that video comes out. When that video goes out around the world on press day, Monday, the Monday after the first NFL game, which is the first NFL week, which is the busiest day in the sports world, Ray Rice is subsequently suspended indefinitely from the team. He's released, and his own wife even supported him. Came to the commissioner's office asking the commissioner to be lenient. So what Stephen A. Smith was saying wasn't wrong. But look, a lot of domestic violence cases, I know because I've tried them, they've been started by women. There's nobody should put hands on nobody, period. The laws don't state a battery is domestic abuse battery is committed when a man strikes his woman. That's not what the law states. It's when a partner touches another partner without their permission. A partner has no gender. It can be the woman, it could be the man. And Michelle Beadle got exposed, as a hack. And Michelle Beadle is the reason you see her there in this icon, but she's the reason why Stephen A. Smith got suspended. And she called him out on Twitter, which was against company policy. But Stephen A. Smith is a flat out, so he apologized to this, but when Mark Cuban made his remarks, Stephen A. had this to say. Hold on, I'm going to share this one.
Stephen A. Smith is a sellout. Stephen A. Smith's an Uncle Tom. Stephen A. Smith ain't black. You ain't one of us.
You ain't
These
got
are
that
the
right.
kind of things that were said to me yesterday. Twitter, emails, friends didn't say that to me. What they did was they called up and tried to talk to me, to challenge me on my points of view. Those that are in my inner circle, family, friends, loved ones, they know that I have nothing but love for them, and I appreciate where they're coming from. But when I say I don't give a damn, I can't even emphasize that doesn't know justice. I stand by everything that I said yesterday, tenfold, 100-fold. And I don't care who in the black community disagrees with me. Said yesterday, tenfold, 100-fold. And I don't care who in the black community disagrees with me.
There's nothing more to say on this one. We let Stephen talk himself to death as he always does. All right. I'm going to go ahead and move on. I'm trying not to keep it as a long show, guys. Hit that like, share, and subscribe button. You guys can donate to the Cash App at the bottom. Please donate to the Cash App, GavinRichardEsq, or Google Pay at gavin.grich1@gmail.com. We're going to move on to our next topic, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to be talking about Howard University president reacts to protests. Now, this actually took place. Of course, you know, I did a show a couple of weeks ago about the conditions that were going on at Howard University. And basically, you had students who have been living in tents outside of their dormitories, actually going to the halls of Howard, outside the halls of Howard, protesting the living conditions that they are faced with, issues of mold, issues of flooding, issues of just lack of resources that have been found on the campus. People are getting sick as a result of these conditions. And your president, the president of Howard, spoke on this issue when he was confronted by some students. So I'm going to go ahead and play. I don't know why this isn't coming up. Hold on a second, guys. But now they're trying to blame the students for layoffs at the cafeteria employees. So he recently spoke about the conditions, and there you see Debbie Allen, who is a Howard alum. You know, her sister is Felicia Rashad, who came up there in to support the protesters and find out what was going on. This is coming from WUSA 9. Again, this is the Fair Use Act of Fair Use under the Copyright Act of 1976 is being shared for purposes of commentary and news only. So we're going to go right to this channel. Hit that like, share, and subscribe button, guys.
For the 24th straight day, these Howard students made their demands known.
I can't even begin to explain how hurt we all are.
They say they want cleaner, safer dorms and student representation on the Board of Trustees.
We're simply trying to garner the first-class living conditions that Georgetown students have.
Today's protest coincided with Howard President Wayne Frederick's annual State of the University address, where he took
listen to Wayne Frederick.
I hear the concerns.
Oh, that accent says it all. I hear the concern of the student.
He said if one student has mold in their room, that's one too many, and that Howard's housing partners responsible for upkeep must do their jobs at a high level. But he also maintained
the physical infrastructure of our residence halls today is as good as it's ever been.
Frederick added he's concerned about division on campus.
That self-hate does bother me in terms of how we go at each other.
Wait, I gotta go back. He said, what did he say about the infrastructure? Let's go back. He said, now that's how, these are the halls, these are the dorms, the dorm apartments the kids are living in. It's flooding.
In their room, that's one too many, and that Howard's housing partners responsible for upkeep must do their jobs at a high level. But he also maintained
the physical infrastructure of our residence halls today is as good as it's ever been.
Frederick added he's concerned about division on campus.
That self-hate does bother me in terms of how we go at each other. And that's why sometimes I disengage from that back and forth, because I just don't think it's healthy.
The students here in these tents on the yard have also been visited by alumni, people like actress Debbie Allen, who say they just want to see what's going on.
People are hearing, I'm hearing.
And she let both administration and students know she supports them.
Your effort is so on the right road.
John Henry, WUSA 9.
You know, she didn't say anything. Debbie never said anything about her sister when she got Felicia Rashad, who's the dean of Howard's Fine Arts Department, when she was called out and criticized by those for defending a friend. The president of Howard, superstar Bella, is Wayne A.I. Frederick. He is from Haiti, I believe. Trinidad. He's from Trinidad. I apologize. He's Trinidadian. And he has been serving as president of Howard from July 21st, 2014 up until the present. Said president. My God. I don't know what's wrong with me. So he's a surgeon. So he's a doctor, smart guy. He's a professor of surgery. For Charles R. He's a professor of surgery. So this is a smart man. This is somebody that's worked in the medical field. This is not an idiot. He's dealt with medicine. So although Ben Carson is a doctor and we know where he stands, but nevertheless, I don't know who Kenneth Graves is, but no, we don't cut funding to HBCUs. I think I wanted to talk about that for a reason. No, you're not going to cut funding to HBCUs, and I didn't vote for Kamala Harris. She pimped some others out of their vote, but I knew better. But this president clearly is out of touch with reality. Well, I don't know who the fuck Kenneth Graves is and what he's saying, but no, that's some bullshit. He is out of touch with reality here. Because when we look at Howard University, and I'm relating this because I graduated from an HBCU at Southern University. I was on the grounds of campus. I came there as an emergency student in 2005 during Hurricane Katrina. So I'm familiar with the living conditions out there at on these HBCU campuses and going to HBCU. And those that know the stuff that we had to deal with. And that's the president of Howard, Wayne Frederick. He's the distinguished Charles R. Drew Professor of Surgery. And he's Trinidadian. So I don't know what he says. And this is why when I put this in the description, how he was out of touch with reality, or out of touch with the students, is that for him to actually say that the dorms are the best infrastructure, have the best infrastructure as of now, looking at those buildings says otherwise. Looking at that says otherwise. Maybe from where he was from, he was used to it. But that clearly was unacceptable. And my experiences at Southern, if those that went to Southern, you know about Toddy and Boley Hall. I lived at Moore Hall. And I remember when there was a promise by Southern to build new and better apartments. They didn't come during my time. And Moore Hall, we had the issues. I don't think we had issues. I don't recall having issues with mold or anything, but the area was not the best built. Its infrastructure was falling apart. Painting was fading on it. The plumbing was barely working there. I would go and spend the weekends sometimes go by my parents to go take a shower just because of the conditions that they had. And most of these a good number of HBCUs, and I think oversight has to come in, is that they deal sadly with corruption. They deal with nepotism. They deal with favoritism. And those are the main issues that hurt your HBCUs. The reason why, and I was on, shout out to the Black Authority because I was on his show actually yesterday. The reason why these schools are falling apart compared to predominantly white institutions is that the boosters at many of these schools, like your LSU, for instance, like Tulane, like LSU, Alabama, those in the SEC, especially when we look at football, they're the ones that are putting this money up for those schools and making those schools develop the way they are. That's why their campuses are growing. They're able to grow. They're able to produce. They're able to produce a better environment, produce better opportunities than they are at some schools. And so many kids are leaving these institutions. That was one of the reasons why in the 70s, when you used to see the powerhouses of Black college football in the 70s up until the early 90s, well, those things changed because the other schools, and why our Black students were leaving, they were providing them with more, they thought, with more opportunities and an opportunity to shine. That's why you see a lot of the big athletes go to, Alabama, going to LSU or USC, especially in the 2000s, because many of the HBCUs were falling apart. And yes, HBCUs, that is true that they have had their funding cut. Biden is cutting their funding, but even President Obama was not supportive of HBCUs. If you go back, and I heard him say it himself, he got even called out by Roland Martin for stuff he said when he came to Baton Rouge and was asked the question about supporting schools like Southern and so forth to make sure that they would have funding. And he said, well, and I'm paraphrasing, that it's best not to fund those schools or put money in schools, especially if those schools are not doing great jobs in not producing new leaders. And I'm paraphrasing what he said, but essentially was saying, y'all schools keep failing, so I'm not going to give you no money. I'm not going to throw money down a endless hole, a black hole. I'm not doing it.
For the 24th straight day, these Howard students made their demands known.
I can't even begin to explain.
Hold on. So they've been occupying the University Center, Blackburn University Center, from this. And I'm glad they're doing that. But where is Kamala Harris? Where's the vice president? She has said nothing. Now, what's interesting is you read this Wikipedia page on Dr. Frederick. Apparently, there have been issues with his presidency. He talks about infrastructure. Well, it was reported that Frederick made $953,104 in 2014, ranking the 45th best paid among 510 presidents of private American colleges. In winter of that year, classes were postponed because the college was unable to heat its facilities. In 2018, he made over $1 million, $1,070,322. The highest university salary of university head in the DC area. In 2018, students asked Frederick for assistance with housing issues. So here we go. So this has been going on from 2018 for assistance with housing issues after the university was unable to assign dorm rooms. On multiple occasions, Frederick responded that students' emails were inappropriate in tone. After students protested, the housing office was closed and campus police was called. He later issued a statement saying that he had fallen short of student expectations. In 2018, the faculty returned a vote of no confidence in Frederick. Among the faculty he voted, 61% expressed a lack of faith in his leadership. There were calls for him to step down, but he received support from the Council of Deans for the university, which represents leaders of Howard's schools and colleges. Now, let me say this. This is a problem that's been going on, again, with a lot of HBCUs. We see issues of corruption. No, but you don't just straight shut them down. I don't believe in that. Now, he makes all of that money, over $1 million, in the schools. The dormitories look like this. The dormitories in that area, the kids are living in dorm rooms. Now, that's the address of the president, but this is the dorm. Look at that. Flooding in the apartment. All this stuff destroyed. Their clothes, their beds, their TVs, all their furniture. Look at that, all of that. But why are these Negroes supporting him? Who are the Council of Deans that gave him a thumbs up? How they feel now? Those right on to those students to protest. But they need to do more. They need to kick his ass out. Exactly. Brilliant minds do come from HBCUs. Most brilliant minds do, Knight Rider. But here's the thing. They suffer again. You know, and corruption is everywhere. But it's like what O'Shea Duke Jackson said, because he went to Howard. And he even talked about the conditions that he saw when he was there. I can talk about what I saw at Southern because I was there. And of course, there was a big difference in Howard in Southern University to LSU. When I would go there and visit LSU, the stuff they had, the food court, things not being closed, they were in vicinity where they had readily available resources. I know, for instance, I've talked about how Bill Cosby tried to give money to Southern, and he wanted to know where the money was going, wanted it earmarked, and they opposed that. We couldn't even get a Cox kiosk station, a Cox Communications kiosk station, something that they wanted to do for the kids, but the administration was against it. If $1 million was presented to this administration, if they couldn't do what they want with it, they would slap the check away. They would literally turn it down, and that's what they did. Money is going into the wallets. Now, this is the same Howard University that graduated Thurgood Marshall, had Charles Houston as its first dean of Howard Law School. And I can only imagine what, you know, of course they had the Black Panther Chadwick Boseman who graduated from there. I can only imagine what those guys, if they were alive, would say looking at this, and especially looking at this president here. She looks like she wants to slap him. And now that I'm looking at this article, I want to share this because I want to wrap things up, but I do have one more. We have one more thing we want to talk about here. But Howard University, I stated earlier, and this is the article I'm seeing here from WSWS.org. They're trying to, it's this World Socialist website, but apparently they want to blame the protesters, the students, for the layoffs on cafeteria staff. We're sad to report the occupation of Blackburn has led to an unintended consequence for the HU community. Due to the cafe being closed, some Sodesco workers have been laid off. We are committed to working with our students to avoid more repercussions like this one. The members of Howard's Board of Trustees, bankers, corporate executives, and political consultants hope to pit students and workers against one another. They fear students can galvanize widespread support for their own demands by turning to campus workers and to the working class of all races. Oh, goodness. It's a World Socialist website, so I know they're pushing that intersectionality stuff. But they're trying to blame the students for this. No, this is not on the students. This is on you, Howard. This is on you. Shame on you for doing this. Shame on y'all for the conditions that you've put these kids in. Y'all have these coon administrative officials and trustees and that president who looks confused. I don't know how someone can make $1 million and yet you guys don't have money to fix up your dorms. A president can make $1.4 million, $1 million in a year, but you can't fix up a dormitory. And some students are transferring. Good for them. They need to. Now, next thing I want to share with you all, hit that like, share, and subscribe button if you love this channel. Guys, we do this every Sunday, every Tuesday, every Thursday. Random Topic Sundays. That is the place to be with me. And Tuesdays and Thursdays. He's making $1 million. He made $1,078,322 in 1 year. I believe that was in 2018. 2018. Bella. That's how much he made. But, you know, and a lot of that happens with our schools now. I think they're not getting proper oversight. You know, alumni for these schools don't give a lot of money. Look, when I was on Southern's campus, I remember even after we graduated, they wanted us to, hold on. They wanted us to pledge and swear an oath to remain true to Southern University, and also that we would donate to the school. And I remember when that line came up, we were mumbling that. Because these schools, I mean, sadly, a lot of our schools suffer from disorganization. They suffer from, you know, I said corruption. You know, some, you know, I think Southern may be better, a little bit better than what it was when I was there. But that's just something still, it is something still that affects our HBCUs in general. The issues of nepotism, issues of favoritism, those things are still there. And I say nepotism because you have family members that are there, they get favored. You have favoritism over who's the best person here for this and that job. I'm going to give this to this person. You know, those are things that hurt us. It's usually to this person who's my buddy and not to the best qualified. And Southern is still paying money, I believe, to Ralph Slaughter after the lawsuits that we had when he got fired. They still had to buy him out. So I'm hoping Howard University, they got to get it together. This is on you, not the students. No students, no school. That's exactly what it is. So hold on, guys. I got to take a little break. We'll be right back. In the meantime, take a look at this commercial. Hi, I'm attorney GavinRichardEsq. Check out my latest book, The Commonwealth of Pennsylvania versus William H. Cosby Jr., The Destruction of Due Process in America. For approximately 2 years now, I have gone on a painstaking quest to investigate the rise and fall of an American icon, Bill Cosby. In the mid-1980s, there was not a star that was higher than Cosby. Advertisements with Coca-Cola, Jell-O, Kodak, along with the #1 television show for 5 straight years in a row. On Thursday nights, it was must-see TV on NBC. Cosby resurrected the genre of the traditional family sitcom that was once thought dead by television critics. He did this as a Black American with an all-Black cast and showed mainstream network executives in white America that it was possible to be successful without showing the worst in people. He also demonstrated the power that television had, as it could make younger people dream to be the best that they can be. However, like many celebrity stars, unfortunately, they all come crashing down, sometimes by their own fault, others not so much. In this book, I attempted to highlight certain things. We go in depth into both of his trials in 2017 and 2018, respectively. What if I told you that these criminal trials were politically motivated by an overzealous district attorney? Will you also be shocked to learn that attacks on Mr. Cosby did not start in 2014, but also in the 90s, not long after his attempted quest to purchase a major network? From where did all of these allegations of sexual misconduct come from? Were the accusers telling the truth? In the 2 years of research, with some help from others interested in learning the truth and facts about this case, we discussed both the legal reasons why his prosecution and trial were illegal, unwarranted, and also the possible personal motives as to why this may have occurred. Most importantly, we warn about the dangers of prejudice and why trial by social media, or mainstream media rather, should never be the norm. All this and more in The Commonwealth of Pennsylvania versus William H. Cosby Jr., The Destruction of Due Process in America. Available on Amazon this fall in Kindle and paperback format. All right, we're back. That was the trailer again for my book, The Commonwealth of Pennsylvania versus William H. Cosby Jr., The Destruction of Due Process in the United States. You guys got to check that out. That will be available on Amazon, Kindle, and paperback format for you this fall, coming soon. I will update you all. Go to the Facebook page. Hit that like, share, and subscribe button, guys. But go to the Facebook page to actually get updates on the book, because I will announce on that page, and I'll also announce on YouTube when we go live, or when I do another video when that book is coming out again, so you all can check it out. But The Commonwealth of Pennsylvania versus William H. Cosby Jr. So far, we are growing and growing each day. You can go on Facebook right now, Facebook, and actually subscribe, like the page, so that way you will get notifications when the book is released. But it is coming out very soon. I can't wait. That was the trailer that was released, and I'll be posting weekly just some things about it so you all can learn. We have been promoting this book by word of mouth. I've been doing it, trying to do a tour. I was on Queen Ahmadiyya Shakur's channel this past Friday. Shout out to her, with the Royals and Royalettes, talking about this book. But you guys would certainly enjoy reading this book and just everything that we've gone over talking about this case. But that's the username, Commonwealth Cause. So it's easy for you to look at and go there. But make sure you hit that like, share, and that like button. You hit the like button here. If you could see it, I'm looking at it from my page, but this is, you go to this page, Commonwealth Cause, hit that like, you'll get notice of events and more. I'm trying to do a little virtual book tour, so you guys will love it. I can't wait. I'm just inviting some people to take a look at it, but please go to the Facebook page and check that out, okay? So, all right. So, final thing I want to talk about is what has been going on. Of course, we know what happened with the 2021 election just this past Tuesday. I called it Bloody Tuesday, but this is part 3 because I talked about it on Tuesday and Thursday when Sean was on, and I want to follow up to some stuff that was going on recently. So right now in Virginia, they have tried to, and it's even the New York Times ran a post on it, blame the black community or black voters on this defeat of the Democratic candidate, Terry McAuliffe, I believe is his name, against the incumbent Republican candidate, Glenn Youngkin. He won the governor's race. So Terry McAuliffe was the former governor, it turns out, but this Republican named Youngkin beat him. So I think he was a former governor and he was running again. And I thought Glenn Youngkin was the incumbent, but apparently Youngkin, this is his first time, from my understanding, winning office. So he's a businessman, and he ran this campaign. And I think the main reason why people, and I said this before, a number of people voted for him, or rather the base for the Democrats wasn't there, was because people were tired of being taken advantage of. So Youngkin was not the incumbent. This is his first time running for office. Okay, and Terry McAuliffe was the former governor. He served from 2014 through 2018. All right. So what's going on and what you see here, this is an article from Yahoo News. Black voters in Virginia refuse to be blamed for a major Democratic defeat. Now I'm going to play the video. That part's true. Now, this is absolutely true. A lot of people are upset with Biden. It's not the high gas prices is one thing. Hell, even the high priced turkey dinners that you're going to have for Thanksgiving. It's like they're talking about $50 to buy a turkey. And, Biden even said you should trade Thanksgiving from last year with this year, if I'm not mistaken. But he's made promises to the Black community that he hasn't kept. Certainly, look at what he did we talked about HBCUs. He's trying to cut funding on HBCU spending. He's also made promises with LGBTQ. He's made promises to give illegal immigrants and even legal immigrants, but illegal really is the main thing, monies for being separated at the border. He's doing all of these things. And yes, the African-American community is upset. And I'm still seeing that Blacks, even the majority, still vote Democrat. About 80% still voted Democrat out there, but they did horrible because the base that was there for the Democratic Party, white Americans, they went in, especially in rural areas. Those are not the base of the Democrats. That area is mostly Republican. But if your base, if your Democratic base, which is white women, don't come to your aid, they went to the Republican because they're tired of the mandates. White males as well, more than just as much. The women are just as frustrated with Biden. White women just as frustrated with Biden as well. Remember, it was white women who put Karen over Donald Trump, despite Hillary running against him. That's a true point. So it's easy for them to blame the Black community because we're an easy target. We are minorities. I hate even using that term minority, but because we are a distinct group. Our ancestors are the only ones who did not immigrate to this country. They were forced over here. Of course, we know from what blacks were here before Columbus and so forth, foundational black Americans, I get all of that. But when it comes to black issues, they have to be treated with a different set of gloves. And yeah, there were still blacks that voted for them, although they didn't show up. They still had low voter turnout, but you know, that 80%, you got to factor this in too. What's up, computer robots? How many of those were over the age of 60 or 50 rather? Because that older generation is still going to vote Democrat. You know, we can't have Donald Trump's in there. You see, that's what hurt the Democrats with this election. Donald Trump is no longer a factor. He is not the president. So now that Trump is out of office, you have a Democratic president. The question is, after his 10 months in office, what are you so far? What have you, or what are you offering me now that Donald Trump is out? We voted him out. What more do you have? Well, you know, the Republicans. No. That's not what I'm asking. I'm asking, what are you doing? We don't hear what we hear what they're doing. We hear we can't have them because we're scared, but you're not telling us what it is you're willing to do. And it's the same thing every year. And when I called into Jason's show last night, I told him, and I said, I was ecstatic. I was ecstatic, and I laughed my ass off when I saw the results coming in, because it was BS. I knew what was going to happen. You didn't support last year. If you didn't support Kamala, I got called out because I called out Kamala. That picture that was circulating, I got called out by some niggas who were mad because I had Kamala. I was upset that Kamala Harris was being compared to Rosa Parks. Her record speaks for itself. And those fools that were upset with me, guess what? They quiet as a mouse right now. They quiet as a mouse as the night before Christmas. They hear them piss on cotton. Because they know Kamala Harris ain't done shit. Biden hasn't done shit. They've been real. For them to actually propose money, and I'm going to do a separate video on this. For the president of the United States still to propose money to illegals, that's the thing. That's the word that gets me. You're in this country illegally. You kids were separated at the border and so forth. You brought your children over here to cross the borders illegally. You knew it was illegal. If you didn't know, there's something in the law called ignorance of the law is no excuse. Even if you don't know something is a law, guess what? They still prosecute you. They do it now to brothers and sisters. I didn't know I broke the law. Well, you know now. The Democrats got what they had coming to them. They were tired of these mandates, these mask mandates, the jab mandates. I saw earlier today that the federal court put a freeze on Biden's mandates over the jab. I saw that. I'll probably do that in another video, probably Tuesday. But people are frustrated with this, and that was what this election was about. It was a protest. It was a vote because we are frustrated. We're sick of you. You fight for this group and that group, but not the American people. You're treating illegals better than you're treating Americans. People who pay taxes, our tax dollars, just think of that. Your tax dollars are going to go, your tax dollars are going into court settlement eventually for people who don't have a right to be in this country. That enter this country illegally. Is that right? No, it is not right. And just wait until 2022 when the Senate's race and the House of Representative race come up in these different states. It's going to be all red. But do not blame black voters. We have been the most loyal to the Democratic Party, even though we get nothing in return for our vote. And the new generation is sick of it. Our elders have failed us. Now we're here to step up and leave something for our future generation. We will no longer tolerate this crap. That's it, guys. I wanted to talk about that. But yeah, this is a prelude of what's going to happen next year and in 2024. You're absolutely right, Tyree. And it's going to be bad for the Democrats. Demon rats, as you said. But yeah, look, I'm actually happy, though, that the positive side to this is that attention is being made. You cannot take the African-American vote for granted. Can't do it. If you are new to this channel, please hit that like, share, and subscribe button. Hit the notification bell when we go live. We do this every Tuesday, every Sunday, and every Thursday with Sean James, the author of The Man Crisis. It is Random Topic Sundays, ladies and gentlemen. I want to just say thank you all to those that are tuning in. We, of course, let's pay some bills right quick. If you would like to subscribe to our Patreon for exclusive content, that is the link at the bottom. It is the same name as the channel, Gboot2786. If you would like to advertise with us, that is our email as well, gavin.grich1@gmail.com. We have our seasoning website, Nawny'sCreoleBlends.com. Try it on chicken, meat, or fish. Nawny's goes great with every dish. Also, check out Video Soul. That is the latest single that was released on my YouTube channel, Gboot, that was released. You can find it under various artists on YouTube, but you can also find it on Amazon, Apple, and Spotify. Also, ladies and gentlemen, of course, our final song and our theme song for the night is Gotta Get On Up. We play this every time we get on because as we've gotten on down, it is now time to get on up. I will see you all next Tuesday. This was a great broadcast, great stream. Shout out to everyone that's been in the chat: Derek Bailey, Danielle Mayer, DeAndre Mobley, a bunch of other people who I can't name. Forgive me, it's my head, not my heart. I want to thank you all for tuning in. I'm going to listen to Tariq. I know some of you probably are flipping back and forth to Jason Black, but we had a great show tonight. I was grateful that we were able to do this. Please subscribe to that Facebook page, Commonwealth Cause, which is about the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania versus William H. Cosby, for my book, which will be released later this month. And you guys be safe and be blessed, ladies and gentlemen. So without further ado, let us get on up and get out of here. I'll holla. Peace, guys.
Girl, come on. Gotta dance to the beat. Because on the dance floor is where we'll live. Show me what you got. Gotta feel the groove. Feel the groove, get on the floor. Get on up. Right now the party's wasted. There's nothing much to do. But once the groove gets started, tell me, what do you have to lose? Just look into my eyes, girl, as we glide across the room. And what to my surprise now, the beat takes hold of you. Now if you're feeling like I'm feeling, so come on baby, let's start dealing. Time to get this party started. Ain't no time for the broken hearted. When the rhythm takes hold of you, there's only one thing left to do. Cause the beat is really moving. Time to get your body moving. Gotta get all up and move your body. Cause when the beat is really grooving, it's time to feel your body moving. Gotta get all up and shake something. Feel the groove, get on the floor. Get on up. Tell the DJ play the whispers. Rock steady in the mood. Put on earth, wind, and fire. Tonight we're gonna groove. Show me how you do the four corners. Electric slide or two. Hit the bus stop, I'll do the bunny hop, baby. It's really up to you. Now if you're feeling like I'm feeling, so come on baby, let's start dealing. Time to get this party started. Ain't no time for the broken hearted. When the rhythm takes hold of you, there's only one thing left to do. Cause the beat is really grooving. Time to get your body moving. Gotta get all up and move your body. Cause when the beat is really grooving, it's time to feel your body moving. Gotta get all up and shake something. Feel the groove, get on the floor. Get on up. Now, 2020 hasn't been the best year of all times. We've been dealing with death, the pandemic, racism, bad policing, and all the bad rhymes. But like Uncle Snoop once said, if you breathe, then you achieve. And so, if you're ready, I need you all to get on up. Are you ready? 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. Get your butt on the dance floor. 5 and 6 and 7, 8. This jam we appreciate. We're gonna slide and step on the beat. On the dance floor is where we'll be. Feel the groove, get on the floor. Get on up and move your body. Cause when the beat is really grooving, it's time to feel your body moving. Gotta get on up and shake something. Feel the groove, get on the floor. Get on up, baby. Yeah, gotta get on up. Come on, baby, gotta get on up, baby. Feel the groove, get on the floor. Get on up.